morning. It is Sunday, October 31st, 2021. We are at just about at the halfway point of the NFL season, which is insane to think. We are right at the Sunday of week 8. So almost at the halfway point. It is 18 weeks, 17 games. But to me, I can't believe we are at already halfway through, or just about halfway through. So if your fantasy team's in good shape, kudos to you. If it's not, hopefully we can kind of straighten it out. And also, hopefully, we can give you some advice to make some money. So if you're losing fantasy games, at least you are winning bets. And when I think of losing fantasy games and winning bets, I think of M1. Although his team in the legit league is doing well. M1, how you doing? Good morning. How are you?
Doing good. Trying to keep up the winning ways in the legit fantasy league. That's what I was just speaking with Brother Ray about. And I don't even know who I'm playing this week. And that's a good thing, because usually I just try to focus on my squad and not the other squad. So Let's go. Let's keep trucking, training along.
Good. And you mentioned the legend already. We got I think this is Brother Ray. I am a little bit, wow.
It's the punish.
I also love it. You're like a full head. You're a half a head taller than both of us in this view. So all right. What's the Frank Castle moniker here today?
It's the punish, not the Punisher. I am the punish. Okay. Hopefully, we're gonna flip that script this week. Genius.
Yeah. Nice. You believe it? We didn't take a break for the show at all after off seasons. We were right after the Super Bowl. Every week, trucking along, preparing. We took everyone through the draft. We took everyone through training camps, all the stories, everything. We're in week 8. The NFL season always does this to me. It starts, you're waiting. Then it starts slow. Then all of a sudden you get in your groove, and all of a sudden you're about halfway through. It's crazy. So you guys got that same kind of feeling? You got stamina to finish this one out, brother Ray?
Yeah, I mean, this is when the work starts. This is when you have to make the moves. You have to make the pickups that are going to position you. You got to be thinking playoffs right now. Like, I know for me, I don't care what my record is. As long as I make the tournament, I have a chance. And I want to put myself in the best position in those weeks to win.
Yeah, and and one thing with me that's killing me is I'm doing 3 leagues this year, which is about what I normally do. Sometimes I do 4, sometimes I do 2, but I'm usually around 3. And one of my teams is an auction team, and I left that auction. I crushed it. I was so proud of myself. My cousin Steve, you know him. We try to get him on the show, but he's in a couple of leagues. He's really, really good. He won the championship in Corrupted last year. He's like, wow, your team, you nailed it. On and on and on. That team is 1-6. And I don't. You ever look at a team and you're like, how did it all go wrong? And I don't know exactly how to fix it, and then all that stuff. And then I have and then on the other ones, like legit, I think I'm 3-4, so I'll probably a good chance making the playoffs there. Corrupted, I'm like, I don't know, 4-2-1, something like that, or 4-3, some whatever. So a good shot. There's those teams you draft, you fall in love with, and somehow they never get out of the gate.
I was just talking to Brother Ray. Sometimes you could have like a draft that you have all the best players, and you show people and they're like, how did you draft that team? And they never click. They never muster any effort, and you're like, what are you doing? Wake up, do something. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do. I
know. And I had one story where it went well, like where I had that happen. I started off 0-5, and then I was like, if I lose another game, that's out. I'm done. And the next week I tied somebody, so I'm 0-5-1, and then I never lost again. I went all the way through, squeaked into the playoffs, and ended up winning it all. So you always have that in the back of your mind. But that's my one story in doing probably 150 fantasy seasons altogether, something like that. But anyway, speaking of someone that's about 150 seasons deep, we're going to bring on the King. We're going to bring on Michael. He is making an appearance this morning. Good morning, King. How are you? I see you're down at the bar on a Sunday morning.
Oh, my God. The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Thank God we get to brush elbows with the King today, because he's like 24-3 the last 2 weeks. We need his advice.
Can't hear you at all. Unless you're not talking.
Oh. How about now?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
How's it going,
What's
King?
up, gentlemen?
Not too much. Just getting ready for week 8. Talking about ghosts of fantasy seasons past a little bit.
Hey, did I mention and tell anybody that I'm 23-4?
I think everybody knows. I saw those AJ's Army's billboards on Mineral Spring now say King Mike Ellis 23-4 over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, and you know what? Those billboards were not cheap.
When you're going 23-4, you can spend a little money on the billboards.
That's
Extra
right.
little cheddar.
Spend the money, baby.
Have we gone through any of the games?
No, we're going to start right now. So you want to kind of ride with the games, or you want to dump some picks and get out? I'll defer to you.
I'm gonna ride with the games. I'm not feeling good. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do the Halloween trip tonight. I just don't feel good. I don't feel like horribly sick. Everything's congested.
Yeah, that's probably because you've been inhaling paint for 3 days and not the fun way.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. So we'll jump right in then. The first game. So we're gonna do it like one I did it last week. Rotation order here. So starting at 2:51 is Miami. Miami at Buffalo. 1:00 game. Miami's getting 14. Over under is 48.5. I heard in the green room before the show, Brother Ray was tossing chairs. But then at the end of it all, he seemed a little bit resigned to his fate. So we're going to start there, Brother Ray. Miami going to Buffalo, catching 14, over under 48.5. What do you make of this game?
In previous years, this would be a game classically that the Dolphins would cover, because this is what they like to do. When all hope is lost, they'll win a meaningless game and completely throw a wrench into the machine. However, Buffalo owns the Dolphins. When I say owns, if you look at the last 4 games and you look at the margin of victory for the Bills, it's ridiculous. So today, take whatever money you have, rip open the mattress, right? Go open the safe, get out the jewels, get out the gold bullion, and put it on the Buffalo Bills. Every prop, every point, every tease, every way you can put money on the Bills today, you need to do so.
I'm unclear. Should we take the Bills minus 14 or the Dolphins?
The Bills.
Okay.
Bill, all right, so you're going to lay the 2 big touchdowns. You're going that way. All right, and now M1, I know you look at these things from purely a numbers perspective, sports betting look. What do you make of this game?
I think it's the same as what Brother Ray was saying. I think that 14 could be tempting for the Dolphins. If you want to go with the Dolphins, go ahead. But I'll tell you right now, you're going to be red-faced probably halfway through the game. When you got this type of action, you're going to have Tua feeling like he's going to have to match the output of what Josh Allen and the Bills are going to put forth. They can't. They have a good defense this year. Miami has no defense. I think that this 14 points is going to be evaporated very quickly. I could see this game being like 37-14, 37-10. Buffalo Bills winning big. Go with the Bills.
All right. King, I let these guys talk just to let them talk. At 23-4, I was doing a courtesy. What do you think about this game?
Buffalo will win by 14 points.
So you're saying push? No matter what you do, you're gonna push this one? Or
it's gonna be Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo. They're gonna win by more than 14, but they will easily win by 14 points. The Dolphins are in a state of disarray. So
Buffalo will achieve the over by themselves. By themselves.
All right, gentlemen. So I mentioned this a little bit in the pre-show. It is Halloween, so okay. So how do you lose this bet? What scares you? All 3 of you are on the Buffalo side, and I don't want to talk about this for another 10 minutes on this game. But just quickly, how do you lose this bet? What scares you about this bet?
Josh Allen gets hurt.
That's what I was going to say.
That's pretty much it.
Tua matches him touchdown for touchdown because he's angry and because of all the drama going around and, having to come out finally, Flores, and say he's our quarterback for the rest of the year instead of saying we're not going to trade. So that circus, that's what it would scare me.
Yeah.
They still wouldn't win if they went touchdown for touchdown.
But you could lose a bet.
True.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And just kind of looking at the fantasy angles of the game, I guess the only thing that is interesting that you guys brought up, and I'm not, we don't have to get deep on this yet because I know Brother Ray's going to give us some sleepers at the end. But I guess that would be the only thing that might make Tua attractive. If you're really QB desperate, if you do one of these late QB, if you're one of these late QB drafters, you may want to look at Tua with a chance of shootout potential. But everything else is probably just goes according to plan. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. I think Knox is still hurt, unfortunately. But the rest of the guys kind of seem like they'll do what they're supposed to. But the only real chance for an upside play is probably Tua in this game.
Yeah, I also like Parker in this game. He's coming back. He'll immediately slot back in as the number one receiver, so that will diminish Waddle just a little bit today.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, so moving on to the next game. This one's an interesting one. You got Carolina going to Atlanta. Atlanta is laying 3. The over/under is 46.5. Carolina's gone from the darling of the league, literally league darlings, to catching 3 in Atlanta. I mean, that's a pretty big fall from grace. So this one, let's start off. We'll just kind of go clockwise around. So Brother Ray did the last one. So King, what are your thoughts on Carolina, Atlanta? Carolina getting 3 and the over under being 46.5.
Well, Atlanta knows who their quarterback's going to be. Carolina does not. Carolina does not look sound. I'm going to go with Atlanta to win by 3. Atlanta -3.
All right. So, okay. All right. So that's your call. Pretty simple. And that's actually what I have also. And you have any thoughts on the over-under?
I really don't. I think it's going to be under, if anything, just because of the fact that the Panthers dropped 3 last week.
All right. All right. So, M1, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think the best bet in this game is a prop bet with Kyle Pitts. This is over-under for yardage is like 61. He's hit 113 or more in 2 of the last 3 weeks. Matt Ryan is figuring out how to get him the ball. So if you can, jump on that prop bet and you'll thank me later for it. And you can shoot me some money too. Hit me up. mastermindsmusic@yahoo.com is my PayPal. Hit me up with some funds. That's an easy one. I like Atlanta given the points. I think they're going to roll. Like King said, Panthers just don't look good. At least Atlanta's being scrappy and covering some spreads and being
Yeah, the thing that's really interesting to me about Carolina is, what's going to be sort of the Matt Rule, Joe Brady move after this season? Like everyone thought they were just great dynamic duo and young and talent, bringing all these college ideas into the NFL. And, their excuse last year was, Bridgewater wasn't the guy. So, okay, Donald is going to be the guy. Now, recently you heard them mentioned in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, while the owner, Tepper, dropped them out of that. So when does the shine come off? Well, he said last week that they were out, but that doesn't mean anything. They're back in?
They're talking about giving up CMC involved with the trade. And to be honest with you, I don't know how there's value for Christian McCaffrey at this point in time. Is he a great player? Sure, but it's like the Camaro. Like I said, you get to drive one time a year. Like, how is there value for a guy who's been injured the last 2 years?
I know. That'd be crazy. Yeah, completely agreed. All right, Brother Ray, your thoughts on this game? Carolina and Atlanta, Atlanta laying 3, 46.5.
Yeah, I think I'm the lone wolf today. I like Carolina getting the points. I think they turn around today. I think Darnold is going to actually play well today. In Atlanta, I mean, they beat Miami last week, but that's because Miami's absolutely pathetic, and they could not cover my daughter's flag football team right now. So I think there's going to be a letdown for the Falcons. I'll take the points, and I think they'll cover.
Yeah.
That's so untrue, by the way, Kev. His daughter does not even play flag football.
Well, all right. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for pulling back the curtain. there.
I got the inside scoop, Kev. It's a hot take.
Is that what that hat is for? Like the little press hat, like the journal.
If she did, the Dolphins still couldn't beat her. If she did, the Dolphins still couldn't beat her.
All right, guys. So moving along to the next game, which is another one that like last week had all these like weird blowout possibilities. This week's got a lot of tight ones. Philly at Detroit. Philadelphia laying 3.5, and over under is 48. Now this one, I've heard kind of arguments on both sides of the story for Detroit in this. One is, hey, last week was supposedly their Super Bowl. Goff going to L.A., playing the Rams. They pulled out all the stops. We talked about it too, like fake punts and onside kicks and all that kind of craziness, and they lost, so they're kind of going to be deflated. Then the other side of the argument is, at least narrative-wise, well, they only have a few more winnable games. If Detroit doesn't win this week, I think their next other winnable game is against the Bears, like a few weeks from now. So if Dan Campbell can't get them up for this game, despite the supposed fake Super Bowl hangover from last week, he's never going to get them up, and they're never going to win. So those kind of narratives going back and forth. Personally, I'm gonna bet Detroit plus 3.5. I'm not high on Philly. You guys know that I was for a little while. After last week, I'm kind of off Philly. But I guess we'll start with M1 on this one. What are your thoughts on this game? Philly going to Detroit and Philly laying 3.5 on the road.
I don't think Philly should be laying 3.5 to anybody. How they're favorites is absolutely crazy. It's absurd. I got Detroit getting the 3.5. They, like you said, Kev, they've only got so many more games left, and I've been on a team that was 1-7-1, and we knew the teams that we could beat, and we wanted to win no matter what. Wherever we could win, we wanted to taste that victory. Detroit is playing scrappy. They played scrappy against some great teams even last week. Philly's not a great team, and I think that there's better output from Jared Goff than there is from Jalen Hurts. So I go with the Lions. What's the over-under on this?
48.
That's crazy that Vegas thinks there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I would go with the over just because it seems so crazy that there's that many points. If they think that there's going to be that many points in this game, that means Philly's got to be putting some points up. But I also think that kind of helps out Detroit because Detroit is going to be scoring a lot of those points. It's not going to be Philly.
Yeah. So and one of the things that I heard that was kind of funny, and you brought this up. You said it's interesting. Vegas thinks it's going to be a lot of points. I've heard people talking about this is the week Detroit's offense has like a little bit of a bounce. I don't want to say bounce back game because they haven't had a monster game yet, but this is the week that they start trending up a little bit. So we'll see who's right. I personally did the under on that one, but 48 seems a little high.
The only spot in this game that I can see is Kenneth Gainwell has been running that ball angry, and he could run that ball against that Detroit front. They let everybody in. So watch if there's any props. Go look up what Kenneth Gainwell's.
Yeah, that's a good one. Make a note. All right. So, Brother Ray, over to you. Going around the horn here. Philly going to Detroit laying 3.5, over under 48.
I agree completely with Mastradamus. And with your assessment, the Eagles shouldn't be favored over anybody. That offense is pathetic. Sirianni is not doing a good job of putting his players in a good position to win. I love the money line with Detroit today. I would take Detroit with the money line at home. The only thing that's stopping them right now is Dan Campbell. Let's be completely honest. He made a couple of calls last week that someone should have drug tested him at the end of the game. I mean, I can see like taking chances, but high school coaches would have made some of those decisions that he made. He needs to get out of their way. And they're playing hard for him, too. It's not like they're laying down. They are actually playing hard for this guy. And he needs to get out of the way. I love Detroit. I think Swift's going to have a monster game. And I think they're going to roll it at home. It's going to be a Halloween massacre.
All right. I like it. King.
Yeah. Take Detroit. See, here's the thing, though. Every time I take Detroit, they screw me over. But I can't not take Detroit against this Eagles team, to which I've said repeatedly is a really horrible organization. They're a really bad in a league full of bad in a division full of bad organizations. They're the worst. So take the Lions +3.
And the King has not picked the Eagles since 1992. Just so we're all clear on that.
Okay?
Awesome. Would you like I pick them here?
Yeah, but that's a good point about how bad that organization is, and that's just it's like it's a toxic place, toxic building. You got Howie Roseman, you got Sirianni, who they handpicked because they knew they could pretty much bully him around. I realized this before the beginning of the season, but I never mentioned it. Sirianni obviously never been a head coach at a high level. He also had never even called plays He was not a play caller. So this season, he got promoted to a head coach and realized, well, they're hiring me for my offensive brilliance, so I should probably call the plays too. Like, how do you, as a NFL professional football team with a quarterback in his second year that needs like all the development help they can get, bring in a guy with those kind of credentials? That part blew my mind, and I don't know why I didn't bring it up until this week. But anyway, all right. So the only thing I wanted to mention there and ask you guys from a fantasy perspective, what do you think of the tight ends? It could be one of the few bright spots in the game. Like, does Hockenson finally get back on track? And Brother Ray, I'll give you credit. You dumped Hockenson like it was a bag of flaming hot coals when everyone was high on him. So I'm assuming you kind of saw through that eventually teams are going to figure out he's the only offensive threat, and you dropped him in the corrupted league. But do you see any kind of rebirth for this guy, or renaissance, whatever?
I would more concentrate on Goddard. I think Goddard had 70 yards last week because Hurts was just that bad. He has the potential now and the opportunity to really put a good second half season together. But Hockenson is their number one wideout, and teams have been doubling him. So, I think if they can run the ball today, maybe Raymond could get some deep passes. Maybe that opens up, because we know the talent is there with Hockenson, and Goff historically loves to throw to the tight end. That's what he did with the Rams. So I think you could see those two guys as the top receivers this year for both teams. Today for both teams.
Ray, are you dressed up like the Punisher?
The Punished.
It's the Punished.
The Punisher. He takes his kids places. The Punisher. Softball. I'm with it.
All right, gents. Moving on to our next 1:00 game. We got Tennessee going to Indy. This one should be a great one. It's obviously two top dogs in that division. Indy, both teams kind of started a little bit slow. Indianapolis looking great after they're winning in San Francisco. They're hot. They got Wentz's foot is healed. Obviously, Quentin Nelson, he looks pretty good. They still got injuries. Wide receiver, unfortunately, Ty is still not really playing, still banged up. And then on the other side, Tennessee, big shocker, Julio Jones will not be playing today. He's out. But they do have A.J. Brown, of course. They have King Henry. So this is going to be a really interesting game. And part of the narrative stuff that I've heard, like I kind of like Tennessee in this one, and I bet them at +3. And I laid a little extra juice. Actually, the line is +2.5. And I'm a little bit concerned with that bet because the Tennessee has beat the Chiefs. They beat the Bills. They're riding really high. Are they going to have enough in the tank? And this is almost a must-win for Indy. Like, if Indy drops this game, they're in bad shape. If Tennessee drops this game, they're not. They could still make. They still have control the division a little bit more than Indy would, even with the Indianapolis win, because they already beat Indy once. So, what do you guys think about this game? We'll start back at the top with Frank Castle. Punished. What do you think? Tennessee getting 2.5 in Indy with the over/under at 51.
I have it at 3.
Yeah, I like Tennessee getting the points today. I think you can spook yourself out of it and look. T.Y. Hilton is playing today, so that is
he is good,
I think, for the Colts. But I just like the way Tennessee's playing on both sides of the ball, and I can't say the same thing for the Colts. Their defense right now is playing really well, Tennessee, and I don't think a lot of people are focusing on that right now. They've really turned it around on that side of the ball. And Henry, Julio, yeah, that's a big loss for them, but I think they can make up for that. We've seen Henry just take over games, and I don't see the Colts putting up much resistance to him today. I will take the points on the road. I like Tennessee in this.
All right, cool. All right, King, what do you say there? Well, Brother Ray was going through his analysis. I did check. Looks like Tennessee is +3, -115. So I jumped the gun a little bit. I probably should have waited. I did it at +3, -120. So what do you think of this game?
Well, first off, I made the mistake of looking on Facebook really quick because I saw a picture of Buddy dressed up as Kurt Cobain for Halloween, and it's rough.
Wow.
I don't know what to do with myself now. I feel like I've been shaken to the core. All my beliefs are no longer the same. I love Tennessee +3. I think that's just one of those games that if you look at it long enough, you'll convince yourself otherwise. But it's Tennessee +3.
All right, M1. What are your thoughts on this one?
I'm going to be the lone wolf on this one, and I am going to call this one a lock. The reason why that spread is +3 is it's trying to get everybody to put money on Tennessee. Look at the waves of the NFL, and we're going to get stuck on what they've done, right? I called the Ravens losing to the Bengals last week, and because it was a perfect letdown spot. Like, Kevin, you hit on it. If the Colts lose this game, they're 4 games behind Tennessee. 4. They need this game big time, and they're going to get it. And I have to disagree with Brother Ray. The Colts, just a team to stop and stunt Derrick Henry. That D-line is playing lights out right now. Lights out. The Colts will win this game. Take the Colts, and they're going to do it. You know, Carson Wentz is playing some good ball right now. I do believe that the Tennessee defense is coming together, but at the same time,
did you hit the eject button? I thought you literally just blasted through the roof of your car.
Hey, it didn't hit my ball sack this time. Yeah. So usually when it drops down, it hits me right in the balls. Colts win this game, and they win this game good. Take the Colts.
All right, the spread was 2.5, and now it's 3. So that would tell me that that people are trying to get money to be put on Indy.
No, they're banging. Yes and no, but at the same time, I wouldn't go so far as I always follow the money, and I know, you know, I do. I'm a big believer in that, but I do believe that this spread tells you to take Tennessee big.
Well, this is a weird one because it's not as simple as the line just moved, because the line didn't actually move. Last night and even early this morning, actually even right now, you could get Tennessee +2.5 at +105. Now it's Tennessee +3 at -115. So neither one of those was a -110 normal line bet. So Vegas is doing like second level stuff to kind of trick to move the money around, because they didn't want to give people 3 with Tennessee to make it an easy bet. They're obviously trying to get, you know, trying to keep it off that key number, which is why I bet the alternate line at -120, and I should have waited a little bit. I wanted to make sure I had the bets in before the show started.
About 3 weeks ago.
Sorry, go ahead.
About 3 weeks ago, this division was looking like horrible. Now we're seeing 2 teams become, you know, probably the better teams in the AFC, and this is going to be the game of the week right here.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. And one thing I did want to mention is I think the first time these teams played, I don't think Kwity Paye was playing. He is playing today, and he's been a monster as a run stopper on the Indy offensive line. So that's going to be kind of cool to watch, especially with the Rhode Island connection. So this will be the game. I have a couple more to talk about, but this will most likely be the game I watch at 1:00. Yeah, I think it's going to be it. All right, so moving along a little quickly here. I don't think we're going to have a ton to say about this next game. Cincinnati going to New York to play the Jets. Cincinnati is laying 11, and the over/under is 43. King, we'll go with you first on this one.
Take the Natty -11.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the over/under?
43. I'd probably go over, but my big pick is Natty -11.
Yeah. All right, cool. And all right, I just want to interrupt you guys. I haven't mentioned it yet, but I am looking at NFLweather.com. There's no real weather concerns yet. No 20-mile-an-hour winds. No heavy rain on any of these games so far. So you don't have to worry. I always mention weather at this time of the year, but we're clear for today. All right, M1, Cincinnati laying 11 in New York, over/under 43.
The Jets seem to be like one of the worst squads that I've seen in recent years. Like, it looks like they're like tailgating with their fans, drinking beers and smoking herb, but doing whatever they can besides concentrate on football. I really believe that there is no hope for them. I would take Cincinnati, and I'm also going to go with King. I think it's going to be an over. I think the Jets defense is just horrible. Joe Burrow.
How do you feel about the defense?
About whose defense?
The Jets.
It's awful.
Horrible.
Yeah, it is, and that's one of the things that's hitting like talk radio. Like I don't listen to a ton of talk radio, but I like New York talk radio because it's absolutely brutal. I like the New York, look at the New York Post headlines. The big question now is, exactly what is Robert Saleh doing? Like they got smoked by the Patriots. They got 54 coming off a bye to a New England offense that's, no one's arguing that they're like the next generation of the greatest show on turf, and they got smoked 54. So what exactly is Robert Saleh bringing to the team? And then you got Mike LaFleur, and they're running a not very productive offense. So they got a lot of problems. But brother Ray, what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, I mean, Mike White gets his first professional start. He came in mop-up duty last week. You have to like the Bengals here. That defense has been playing a lot better. Their offense, obviously, I don't have to say anything about their offense right now. And the Jets, I mean, they're just not where they need to be. They're not developing their young players. Players like Elijah Moore, they keep putting him outside where he's better in the slot. And they're just keeping Crowder there. I think fantasy-wise, I think Elijah Moore could break out today because I think Crowder will move to the outside now that Corey Davis is probably not going to play today. If that happens, I like Moore. Moore would be a sneaky prop bet today, but you have to like the Bengals. I mean, after what they did last week, if you don't believe in Burrow and Chase, then, you need to have your head examined. So I love the Bengals today. And I think it will be over. I think it will be a high-scoring game.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with both of you. I agree with all of you. I got the Bengals and the over. And now this was not a New York analyst, so I just want to put this out there. So somebody from the Midwest is raving about Mike White. This guy is saying could be the next, if given the right opportunity, could be the next Joe Montana, Tom Brady type. Now he was drafted by the Cowboys in 2018, I think in the 5th round, and he's been kind of, you never heard anything about him since. I mean, Ben DiNucci was getting snaps in 2020 for the Cowboys, so you kind of know that Mike White had already washed out by then. But I would be like, so this person is like, gotta go the over because I can see, Mike White is somehow leading the Jets to 14 points or 17 points or something like that, and I'm shocked. But I just at least wanted to get it out that there is a Mike White backer out there who I don't believe is related to the guy. So we'll see.
I will say when Wilson went down, Mike Wright came in and did look effective. Yeah. I don't know how good that's going to be or translate to this week, but he did. Yeah. He could sling the ball.
Yeah, we'll see.
90-mile-an-hour fastball. I can tell you that he was a pretty good baseball prospect at one point.
And apparently he's like a doctor, like he's like a legit, like a medical, like he got like an MD or something. So apparently he's a really bright guy. So we might be, we're not at the absolute vanguard of the Mike White rise, but it would be perfect Jets if somehow Mike White ended up being better than Zach Wilson. And they wasted all that draft capital on Zach Wilson. And then you know what will happen? As soon as they trade Zach Wilson, Mike White will suffer a career-ending injury, and it'll all be back to square one. But the only thing I wanted to mention on this game is the Cincinnati tight end, M1. You and I talked about him a little bit on one of the other shows. Jets have given up, I guess, three touchdowns to tight ends over the past 2 games. So Uzma might be someone you want to keep an eye on fantasy-wise if you're desperate.
Got him in there.
All right, gents. So I skipped one game, and
the Rams Texans.
What?
The Rams Texans.
Yeah, exactly. So LA Rams going to Houston, and I probably skipped it because I was so excited about it. I couldn't process it. Rams laying 16 in Houston. Over under is 46.5. And I think it's your turn to go first. Unfortunately, what do you got on this game? LA laying 16 in Houston.
It's funny they got that. They got the over under high. They got to believe because the Rams are going to be scoring a lot of points. 16.5 points, huh?
Yeah.
Seems to be
16.
A lot of points, but I could see the Rams covering that. Over under, that's going to be kind of tough. You need a little bit of help on the Texans side. I'd still go over. I think it's going to be easy sledding for the Rams. They'll probably generate a good 37, 41 points. And then you got to hope that the Texans score 7 or 10. I think it can happen.
What, did Matt swallow a bunch of Valiums this Sunday? What's going on?
I think so.
Tired. I think you're rubbing off on me in the wrong way.
Yeah.
I need some of that winning, not that tiredness.
Yeah, exactly. Brother Ray, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing that we all found out is that Tyrod Taylor is not going to be back today. I think if Tyrod's in that game, I think Houston could be sneaky to at least cover because he could at least move the offense. Unfortunately, and I like the kid Mills. He won me over that first game, but against the Rams and that front seven, it's going to be tough sledding today. Basically, after this game, he and Aaron Donald may be engaged because of all the intimate time that they spend together. So, I love the Rams today, given the points. And I'm going to go with the under on this. I think they're going to get up big and then just run the ball and take the win.
Wow.
All right, King, what are your thoughts on this one?
My thoughts are I don't like the fact that I'm agreeing with everybody. I like the Rams minus 16.5 on my end. The Texans should be the worst team in the whole NFL, but the Jets just won't let that happen. So I'm going to stick with the Rams, though, minus 16.5.
Yep. All right, fair enough. My only concern on this one is, two things on this one. Like, one side says, okay, well, the Rams let Detroit hang around, so Sean McVay is going to be like, this is not acceptable. We're not going to do that again 2 weeks in a row, so we're going to just blow them out completely. But then the other half of that is, well, okay, if you get up to this huge lead, let's say they're up 24-0 at the half or 28-3 at the half, maybe they just sort of take their foot off the gas and let Houston kind of slides in somehow. So that kind of scared me off a little bit. So I bet Rams minus 7.5 for the first half. Assuming that they come out hot because of what they didn't do against Detroit and come out hot there. But I am going to be watching this one from a live betting point of view because I mentioned everyone that Rams Detroit made a ton of money live betting because Detroit got up and the Rams. I ended up getting Rams minus 6.5 for the game. So if Houston somehow takes a 7-0 lead, 10-0 lead, I'm going to do the exact same thing. But I just don't think McVay will let that happen. So that's what I'm looking at the first half.
Keep in mind that the Rams defense does give up around 400 yards per game.
They do.
Yeah, it's a really good point. So Houston might be a little feisty. All right, moving. Got 2 more 1 o'clock games to get through. I'll pick up the pace a little bit here. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. This is it was probably not a game we're going to be able to pick up the pace on because this is a really good game. Pittsburgh is catching 4.5, and Cleveland, the over-under is 43. Now, I haven't given this one a last-minute look at the injury report. I assume Baker is playing. Is that correct?
No.
Has anyone seen?
He said he was.
Okay.
Is he back in? I'm hearing he was going to play, but he's got that bum shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
I do like that they got it at 43 because they're definitely seeing Roethlisberger is not going to be able to score that many points. I don't think he's going to score many points. What's the spread on this one?
It's Pittsburgh getting 4.5, and the over/under is 43.
I'm going to go with Cleveland, and I'm gonna go with the under too because I think Cleveland will score, final score 24-10, something like that. So I don't believe in Ben Roethlisberger. I don't believe in that offense. So I'll go with Cleveland in the under.
No. All right. Just going around in order here. Brother Ray, what do you think of this one?
After what Pittsburgh did to me last week, I don't know if I could ever bet them again in good faith. They let Geno Smith go up and down the field like Joe Montana, throwing short passes. It was that defense has major problems right now. If Geno Smith can do that, Baker Mayfield with one arm, I think, can do that. I think if Baker was starting, I would tend to go more towards Pittsburgh, to be honest with you. I think if Case Keenum's playing, I move more over to the Browns. But I'm gonna go with the Browns in this game just because they're at home. Their defense seems to be playing a little bit better. And last week, Pittsburgh, that defense scared the crap out of me. Up 10, and they completely folded like a cheap suit. So I have to go with Cleveland today.
All right. King, what do you see on this one?
I see 2 teams from the AFC North. I see it into the divisional battle, and I like the Steelers plus 4.5 today against the Browns.
Yeah, and I also bet the Steelers plus 4.5, and it's again this is a tough one. It's one of those games where it's kind of tough to go with the dog, but I'm not sold on. I'm still not sold on Baker. I actually, Brother Ray, what you said about Case Keenum, I kind of agree with. And M1 and I went back and forth a little bit on M1 on Case Keenum versus Baker, and I think Baker's a better quarterback, but is Baker a $40 million guy? I don't think he is. If they get Case Keenum at $15 million and save the money for something comparable, what happens? So so we kind of went back and forth with that on Thursday a little bit, so we won't rehash that there. But I liked what Case Keenum did last week for them, and they also they get one of the running backs back today. They get Chubb back, who was awesome. But somehow I see Pittsburgh pulling this one out. So we'll see, or at least keep it up to 4.5. And I went with the under. Okay, San Francisco at Chicago. Unfortunately, this game should have been in the list of blowout games, but San Francisco is a complete mess. We knew Chicago was going to be a mess, but I was really high on San Francisco when the season started. I thought they would be in the Super Bowl or at least in the NFC Championship game. I would not say that right now. I don't think that takes a stretch to kind of back off that position. But the game today is San Francisco going to Chicago. San Francisco laying 4. Over/under is 39.5, which is kind of a joke. Brother Ray, what are you thinking about this game?
Again, I think we're in a position now where are we looking at Kyle Shanahan and his dad, or are we looking at what Shanahan is actually doing as a head coach in the NFL? He does not impress me. He hasn't impressed me, and that team just does not look good. Even with Jimmy G last week, what's the excuse now? I like the Bears in this game a lot. Actually, I like the Bears with the money line to win this game. I think the Bears. I think Fields is just going to get better and better. He had an atrocious game last week against Tampa Bay, but they had some bright spots. Herbert had a really good game. Told you to start him last week, 100 yards. I think the Bears are good enough to stay in this game, and I think they're going to win. I think take the home team today against a 49ers team that has shown nobody anything right now.
This just in, guys. Calvin Ridley is out.
He is. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I didn't even know he was game time. I thought he was. Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. All right, so King. San Francisco at Chicago. San Francisco laying 4, over under 39.5.
The Bears +4.
So taking the 4, you're not going to be as bold as Brother Ray with the money line bet.
You know what? There is a good chance that they could be this could be an upset money line, but no, my pick will be just for the Bears to cover +4.
All right, Mastradamus. San Francisco -4 at Chicago.
I've been going down with the ship with San Fran all year. I'm going to stay on the ship. I'm going to stay on the ship and play some music while the ship goes down. I got to believe Jimmy is going to figure it out. He's playing the violin, doing whatever. I got to believe that Jimmy's going to put more outage than Fields. But I do believe in the Chicago Bears defense. If you've looked at them, they look good against some very good teams. I got them in some fantasy lineups this week. That tells you how much I really, truly believe in the 49ers.
Yeah. All right. So you're going San Francisco. You got a thought on that 39.5 over under?
I got the Chicago defense in there. I think they're going to present a lot of challenges for San Fran. They're gonna do their part. It's just a matter on how much Justin Fields and that offense of the Bears puts out against that 49er defense. So, I would go under here. It's probably going to be a low scoring, like 20-17, 20-10 game, something like that. But if it's 20-17, then the Bears cover. So, 2014, something like that.
They're going under.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm on the ship too with M1. I'm going with San Francisco -4. I'm actually going with the over, although I'm kind of fading on that one a little bit. Interest of time, I'm going to move us along to the 4:00 games. There's only 4 of them. We'll hit them quick. Jacksonville at Seattle. Jacksonville +3.5. Over under 44.5. King, we'll start with you on Jacks at Seattle.
All right. I haven't been wrong on a 4:00 game in 3 weeks. So take Seattle -4 at home against Jacksonville. There's really nothing else I have to say about that one. Just take Seattle -4. Right?
All right.
Yeah, I like Jacksonville in this game. I really do. I think coming off the bye, I think they showed some good things against Miami. They able to get their first win. I don't know. I look at Seattle and with Geno Smith, I just don't see it. I mean, Alex Collins will play today, but let's be honest. I don't think Carson's coming back this year, guys. So if you have Carson on your roster, you may want to just cut him. I think that neck injury is serious. It's a chronic injury, and they don't think he's coming back this year. But Collins will play today, which is a positive for them. I like Jacksonville in this game. I think they're starting to get some juice. I think the offense is starting to wake up, and Lawrence has looked better game after game. So I'll take Lawrence over Geno Smith.
Quick thing. When's the last time the Seahawks have lost back-to-back? They
haven't won at home all year long.
But when's the last time that they lost?
Today.
Like within 2 weeks. Today would probably be the first, right? Like back-to-back home games. I can't think of the last time.
I'm with Brother Ray on this. I think this is not a gimme, but it's close to it. I think Seattle is very, very, very bad on stopping the run. And today you got a power run team. Look for James Robinson. I don't know about prop bets with James, but look for Robinson to go off today. He's going to have a field day against that defense. And just like Brother Ray was saying, we're seeing a lot more things out of the number one pick, Trevor Lawrence, than we would ever see out of Geno Smith. And I think it's more along the lines of Pete Carroll. Like, they did not throw the ball at all last week, and they should have. They kept running into a brick wall with the Saints defense. And it's just it's all about coaching with Pete Carroll in Seattle. He does not know how to put his team in good position. Jaguars go up to Seattle today and they win.
Yeah. I agree with Brother Ray and M1 on this one. I got Jags plus 3.5. I think what you said about the coaching style, and I talked about this with either Davis Mills or one of the other rookies. I don't understand when you have a quarterback that you don't want to put a ton of pressure on. These coaches, these old school coaches, I think the answer is handoff, and then only let the guy throw on third down. Okay, so now it's 3rd and 8, and it's all this pressure on Geno Smith where you can get the defense off balance first and second down, throw a couple of 4-yard passes. Now it's 3rd and 2, and they're still off balance, and they just don't. They like old school coaches don't see that, and they keep like Carroll's the epitome of this because you will keep running into that brick wall. And the other side of it is Jacksonville. I love Trevor Lawrence. I think he's coming up strong. And I'm even going to say, I think this is a big game for Urban Meyer. If he comes out and they're flat and they look terrible, he's in trouble. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and think that he actually used the bye week, effectively, and that they're going to be more varied in like change how they play to beat Seattle versus the other way around. So that's a
lot of hoping. Not even Christmas morning.
I don't think so. I don't think so. You saw Seattle the last 2 weeks, and they look terrible. They look terrible with Geno Smith. Their defense is awful. They have Jamal Adams.
You're talking about though the Jaguars and Urban Meyer doing it correct after the bye week. He coming back and doing things in a better way.
Yeah,
he's going to get worse. You know what I mean? He gets worse.
Well,
rot on fruit gets worse.
That's what I said. That's why this is a test. If they come out and they look terrible, then his career is going to be pretty short. But if they come out and they they look good, then I think there's something really, kind of brewing down there, which nobody wants to say. And you guys know how the media is. As soon as something starts going wrong, it just piles on and piles on and piles on and piles on. Then all of a sudden, if somebody fixes it, there's never a mention that it got fixed. There's never a turnaround story until 3 years down the line. Then they'll hear it. But anyway, then they'll acknowledge it. But anyway, so King, we're on the opposite sides, 1 against 3 on that one. So that could be one of the ones that you show everyone why you're on the hot streak.
That's right.
Next game, New England at the Chargers. New England's catching 4.5. This 4:00 game. Over under is 49.5. Since it's Patriots, we're gonna M1. You want to go first on this one? You in a position where you can go first? You want me to?
I would love to go first on this one. And this is not a homer pick. It's crazy, right? Because you got the Ravens. You got the Ravens who showed the blueprint of probably what the Patriots want to do. It's crazy, right? You just lost Jonathan Jones. They got J.C. Jackson. Now they got horrible Jalen Mills. And then they got Jaquan Williams. They don't really have too many good number 2s or 3s. on the defensive side for the cornerbacks. But I just feel like Damian Harris has a day. That Chargers defense against the run is just not good. It's not good. I think the Patriots absolutely cover this spread. So if you want to, I had so many people all week long going, "There's no way." Yes, there is a way. The Patriots have been in so many games this year that they could easily be not undefeated, but 5-1, 6-1, whatever. They're gonna cover this game. It showed us last year when they stunted Hebert 45-0. Now this is a different year. Hebert looks completely better. This is a big game for the Patriots. In playoff implications, Patriots cover this spread, and there's a very good chance they win this game outright. It's a fact. And I like the over.
All right. Yeah. All right. So let me read something quick. M1, you can comment on this and everyone else can too. Okay. Let me see. 174 completions and 247 attempts, 1779 yards passing. That's one quarterback today. Other quarterback today, 161 completions, 246 attempts, 1,771 yards. So when you hear that, when you look, Mac Jones has 1,779 yards in 247 attempts. Herbert has 1,771 yards in 246 attempts. One guy is talked about as a barely adequate game manager, that who can barely, who has a team that doesn't have a great offense, blah blah blah. The other guy's talked about in the same breath as Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes, and all these other guys, and they're 8 yards apart and 2 completions apart. Now touchdowns are a little bit different. Herbert's got 14. Jones only has 9. But I think people got to look at Jones a little bit differently with the story, because either he's getting too much hate, or they're just slapping this game manager label on him, or Herbert's getting slightly overblown. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. You guys can comment on it or not, but I thought it was interesting to look at the numbers. Brother Ray, what do you think?
Jamar Chase wasn't having the year that he was having. Mac Jones is Offensive Rookie of the Year, hands down. And we also have, like, when we won our parlay a few weeks back, when the Chargers were going up and down the field against the Browns, there was a lot of plays in there where it was like heart attack, blood pumping. It was a crazy game, but it came back to bite them the next week when they played the Ravens. This coaching staff is very aggressive, and I think that there's a reason why they are. They don't believe in that defense as much as, I think we do. And I think that they know that there's some holes on that defense, and we've seen it. We've seen it with the Ravens. The Ravens can't really run the ball. Neither can the Patriots. But the Patriots and the Ravens are kind of equal in the terms of running the ball. And you can run on this Chargers defense. That's where this game is going to be won.
No, I can see a Damian Harris prop bet in my future. Brother Ray, what do you think of this game?
Yeah, it's scary. I believe with everything that's been said. I love the Patriots in this game. I think Belichick will find a way on the road. I don't know. I look at the way Harris is running. I look at what he has behind that rushing attack. I think Jones has been playing excellent. I love the way he handles everything. When the King came back to Foxborough, he handled it really well. He had to deal with that media circus all week, and he should have won the game. He should have won that game. So I like the Patriots this week, but I'm going to go with the under.
Yeah. All right. I have the under also. King, your thoughts on this game? New England getting 4.5 in LA.
I like the Chargers minus 4.5.
Right.
That's one thing. 2, I would request that people that are my age, maybe like 10 years over or 10 years under, to stop posting pictures of themselves dressed for Halloween and trying to look attractive or sexy. Like, I don't mind Brother Ray's costume right there as the Punisher, but if I see like another woman my age dressed like Harley Quinn or dressed like Wonder, enough is enough. you gotta know your age. You gotta know your age when you just stop being sexy. Like, you just let the younger kids be that. Like, leave all that crap to TikTok and grow up. Secondly, the defensive rookie of the year is going to be Azeez Ojulari. I just want to put that out there in the ether. That will be the defensive rookie of the year, Azeez Ojulari.
All right.
Next game.
All right. We'll go back to Brother Ray to start with this one. The football team, or the Inboxes, I should say, at Denver. Inboxes are getting 3. Over under is 45, and this is another kind of one. Like, I put Denver and Carolina in the same bucket. Like, how far do these guys fall? Rad, Fangio, you've talked about before, but I don't have any faith in Washington either. So, how do I get to a bet on this game?
I will take the football team's coach over the Broncos coach any day of the week and twice on Sunday. I'm going to take the football team today. They are getting Judy back. The Broncos are getting Judy back, but I don't think it makes much of a difference. I think they're just a bad football team, and I don't think Fangio gets it. He's going to continue to share carries with those running backs, and neither one is going to succeed. They continue to make stupid coaching decisions. He's just not an NFL coach, and I think today, usually, Washington takes advantage of those coaches, and I'm going to go with them today.
All right, I like it, King.
Yeah, I like the Inboxes +4. I get burned by them every week. Like, they're I think they've been 2 out of my 4 losses. Like, just I always lose with them. But so the other guy that's in competition for defensive rookie of the year is linebacker Jamin Davis. Now, he plays for the Washington Inboxes. Now, they have 4 first-round picks on the line. They have this kid in the middle. They've got other people in other spots. They should be so much better than they are, right? So I'm going to stick with it, ride the course. I agree that Denver is just not that good. They're another team. Who's their quarterback? What's going on? It's abysmal. Take the Inboxes +4.
All right. Yeah, and the crazy thing is Washington is one of the bottom 4 or 5 defenses in the league right now, and they have all that talent. We said all through the beginning of the year, so I'm not going to get into that again. But Denver's got nothing going on either. Denver's offense is terrible. Actually, their offense is middle of the pack. Their defense is terrible also, and they have Fangio is supposed to be this defensive mastermind. M1, your thoughts on this game? Washington getting 3 in Denver.
Yeah, I'm not going against the NFC East whisperer. I would have went with Inboxes regardless of what he said, but sometimes it's all about who you're going against, how good you look. Today they're going to look good. Today that defense will probably represent what they should look like. I think Teddy is a game manager. Like Brother Ray said, I don't think Judy really presents much more than what they've already got. There's been some signs of hope out of him in the last 2 years, but coming off of an injury, he's probably got to get his feet back underneath him. Still, I don't know if Teddy could even take advantage of that, even if he did have his legs.
Washington went from a 3 to 4 point favorite, underdog. I'm sorry, they were
That's
3.
probably a lot
Now
of people
4.
banging the Broncos, but they can if they want. There's probably a lot of love for the Broncos organization over the Washington.
Yeah,
I'll go with
Washington. All right, so moving on, we have 3 games left. We're almost at the hour, so we'll try to pick it up a little bit. Although the next one probably is going to be a little bit of discussion. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Tampa Bay getting 4.5 is the last number I have. King, if it changed, let me know. And the over/under is 48. This is going to be an interesting one. Tampa got smacked by New Orleans twice last year, beat them in the playoffs. Tampa's offense has been on fire this season. New Orleans is all about defense and managing the game. So this was a little tougher of a handicap. So that said, King, we'll go right to you. I know you get to the point on these things. So Tampa laying 4.5 at New Orleans.
It's a home game. Brady played there and won 2 Super Bowls in New Orleans? Or 1? I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win by more than 4. Again, Jameis is at home. The pressure's on him when he plays in New Orleans. Brady feels no pressure. Brady's still got stuff to prove in the tank. They'll probably win by 10. Take the Bucs -4.
All right. M1.
I'm going to go with the Saints here. I just think that the Saints have the Bucs number. Defensively, this is a good matchup for the Saints. I feel like Jameis is going to have a little bit more of a showing with the back end of the Bucs defense. You'll see him whip it around a little bit more. I don't know. I'm not a big believer in the Bucs defense. I think it's going to really stunt the Bucs this year a lot. I like the divisional matchup for 4 points, 4.5 points. I would take the Saints. This is going to be like a 3-point game, 3-point contest.
All right, Brother Ray, split the difference here.
Yeah, I mean, Saints are a tough out at home, no matter who is playing for them. I mean, historically, they're very tough at home. Tampa has had problems with them over the past couple of years. But I can't convince myself to take the Saints in this one. I think they could have Gronk back today at tight end. I think that makes a huge difference if he plays. I just don't trust him. He's out. He is out. I just don't trust Winston. I mean, I think as bad as Tampa Bay's defense is, they'll still be able to get pressure on him. And I think Harris isn't playing for the Saints. They did pick up Ingram. I don't know if he's going to play this week, but that'll be an interesting add to the Saints. I like Tampa here, given the points. I think it's less than a touchdown, and sign me up.
Yeah, right. I think my feelings are probably closest aligned to yours. Tampa, New Orleans is very tough out. Defense is phenomenal. I could see a scenario where, like, the thing that would scare me with the Tampa Bay bet is Jameis just lights it up, because he can do it without wide receivers. If it's crazy enough, like, and he can, like, you talk about a quarterback and take advantage of a team with bad cornerbacks. Jameis is a guy. Like, those the bombs to Callaway, like all that kind of craziness. So I could see him doing it. I don't think he will, but I could see it. I could just regret this bet, but I went Tampa -4.5, and I bet also bet Tampa first half -3. I figured the field goal for the first half is probably seemed pretty reasonable to me, and I bet under 49.5. The line now is closer to 48, so I did get a little value there. All right, so the Sunday night game, Dallas at Minnesota. I'm going to go first on this one since it is the Cowboys. Minnesota is better than most people think they are. Although, brother, you guys have all been kind of strong on Minnesota. I still think the Dallas offense just has too much talent at all the skill positions. And they're saying Dak is a game time decision. He traveled with the team. Apparently, he was limited on Thursday, a little soreness. I don't see any way Dak Prescott does not play this game. I think if you're still waiting and they're waiting to announce it, and the number is still a little bit, like a little soft right now, you can get Dallas +3, or even I've seen some places +3.5. I bet Dallas outright on the money line. I think the Dallas rushing attack is firing all cylinders. I think they'll do some damage to Minnesota there. Passing offense, everybody knows, is crazy. I don't think Minnesota's going to be able to keep up. I think Kirk Cousins started the season wonderfully, but I think he's tailing off. If you look at his PFF grades, his performances are starting to tail off a little bit. And they got the weird – I don't really like these narratives, but there's something about Kirk Cousins. He always seems to flame out in primetime games. This is going to be Halloween night, kind of game of the week. The Cowboys are playing. So I think it all sets them up for an outright win. And I don't know how Dallas is catching points in this situation. That's how I feel on it, and I did at the over 51.5. Let's start with M1. What do you think about that game?
The only reason why they're catching points is because the status on Dak. If you can get them at getting 3.5 points, you take them because Dak is going to play. But that shows you really how injured he really is. I don't know. I have a feeling that this is a sucker spread. Everything that is in my mind, in my heart, that's telling me it's saying take the Vikings in this game because it's so close of a spread. If you can, though, I would take that 3.5 run with the Cowboys, but I do think you can be red-faced at the end of this one. I do believe that the Vikings can match them point for point, even if Dak is at full health. The Vikings are great offensively. So I'm gonna have to go with the Vikings here in this situation. What's the over under?
All right. 51.5 is what I have it right now.
Gotta say over. Both of these teams can score.
All right, Brother Ray.
Yeah, I mean, it really means a lot as far as whether Dak is playing or not, in my opinion. I think even with like the over, like if Dak's playing, I'm going with the over on this. I think it's going to be an absolute shootout. Minnesota's offense, I mean, Kirk Cousins has kept them alive this season, and they've lost games that they should have won. So I think they're going to go back and forth, especially if Prescott plays. And it is a gift getting points, I think. So I hesitate to take Dallas in this based on Prescott playing. But the fact that he's not playing makes me uneasy. I don't think I would put money on this until I knew for sure.
Jerry Jones came out and said Dak will be suiting up.
So, I mean, if Prescott plays, I like the Cowboys and I like the over.
All right, King, your thoughts. Cowboys catching 3 in Minnesota.
So I had them at 2.5, and I still took the Cowboys plus the 2.5. Jerry Jones did say that he is very hopeful, meaning that Dak better play. Like Dak will be playing tonight, and the Cowboys plus 2.5.
All right. So taking us to Monday Night Football. Okay, we're going to start with you because it is the Giants. Giants are getting 10 heading into Kansas City. Over-under is 52. What do you think about this game?
All right, so this spread doesn't make sense at all to me, and I'll tell you why. Both teams can score points. So with the line playing, the offensive line playing at least as good as it did last week, you're getting Kadarius Toney back. Sterling Shepard is expected back. You're going to have more offensive weapons with Daniel Jones. On the flip side of that, the Giants' defense was all over the place, playing like animals. So now you match the way that they're playing with like nothing to lose against the Chiefs, who had Jeff Bagwell in the baseball bat at the plate, dripping so hard that there's sawdust covering the whole plate because they're just trying so hard. Like, you know what I mean? They're aiming stuff instead of just throwing stuff. So I don't think the Giants win this. I don't know. I don't really think so. But you got to take the Giants plus 10. 2 scores is too much for two teams that have literally, Daniel Jones and the air could be a top 10 quarterback in the league. So if you get 2 of those guys in the field running around, throwing the ball, running with their legs, hell, catching one-hand passes, like it'll be within 10. That's what I got.
All right, so you're saying you're on the Giants. All right, M1, your thoughts on Monday Night Football?
I think this is an easy one. I think that the Giants cover this spread easily. There's no way KC should be laying 10 points to anybody. I got the Giants big in this. This is an easy one. And with my phone dropping 3 times and not hitting my balls.
Either you got great luck or small balls.
All right. Brother Ray, your thoughts on the final game of the week, Monday Night Football, Giants catching 10 at Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Giants getting the points in prime time. Kansas City, there's something wrong with them right now. I love the Giants in games like this. I think this will be similar to what happened with Tampa Bay last year when the Giants should have won that game. They were on the 1 or whatever they were on. They lost, but I think it's going to be close. They could even pull it out, but I would definitely take the Giants plus the points. I think it's a no-brainer.
This is going to be a tough one for Andy Reid. Like if they don't get right against the Giants, I think there's going to be like the media and the analysts are already coming for Reid, and I think if they lose this game outright, I think they're in serious trouble. If they squeak a win out, they're in trouble. So if Andy doesn't bring his A game for this one, you could see. I don't think he'll ever get fired, but I think he'll be in a very, very, very difficult position for the rest of the season.
Hey, Kev, if I may, just really quick, I just wanted to interrupt. You could pick up a copy of Between Hell and Heaven written by myself and Ronald Murphy at Amazon.com. All you have to do is go to Amazon.com, type in Between Hell and Heaven. This is the soft cover. Cover. My brother Ray is holding a copy of the hardcover in his hands. And then there's also an ebook written. So there's 3 ways to get it. Go to Amazon.com, type in Between Hell and Heaven. It's just the opposite of heaven and hell. Between Hell and Heaven. It'll come up, Mike Lepre, Ron Murphy. Please feel free to buy a book and help the cause.
Agreed. All right, cool. Speaking of helping the cause, I do want to see if Brother Ray had some final fantasy football wisdom to drop on us. Hopefully, it'll be closer to heaven than hell.
Yeah, the punished here is going to give you some info, I think, that could help you guys out today. And hopefully you won't be punished. You'll be doing the punishing. Quarterback, Josh Allen. Love Josh Allen today. As a Dolphins fan, trust me, take Josh Allen. He's gonna, you're talking 3 touchdowns. You're talking over 300 yards. Play the props. Play them all. I also do like Jalen Hurts today. I think he's going to put up some numbers. He always does in garbage time. I think he may actually have some numbers when it actually counts. We talked about Trevor Lawrence. I do like him today. And I do think Darnold is going to bounce back today. So you can get those guys cheap in DFS. I think that's worth your time. Running back, I love Robinson today. I think Zach Moss will have at least a touchdown against the Dolphins. Again, a cheap play in DFS. Phillip Lindsay is now the main running back for Houston. He's going to get the volume. So I think going forward, he's a guy to pick up in fantasy because he's going to get the volume. Even though it may not mean much, it's still going to be there. The guy I really love at running back today, I'm telling you right now, Jamal Williams is inactive today for the Lions. Jamal Williams will not play. Rookie Jamar Jefferson. Remember this kid's name. He is going to step in today and be the number 2 guy in that committee with Swift. Swift has not carried the load all season. Williams has been getting most of the actual scrimmage runs. I love this kid in a spot start today. I can't find any props on this kid. If you can, put some props on this kid. I think he's going to be good today. Wide receiver, DJ Moore for a bounce back. Devontae Parker is going to get the volume today. He's active. I love LaVisca today coming off the bye. I think the volume's going to continue. He's going to be on the outside. He's actually going to get some volume, big chunk plays. I love the Giants wide receivers on Monday night. Kansas City's secondary has been torched all year. Any of them that are starting, Slayton, if he's starting.
Shepard, Slayton, and Tony.
So I like all 3 of those guys in a spot start. I love Elijah Moore today. Corey Davis, inactive. I think Mike White is going to find him early and often. It's going to be him and Crowder. I love the big playability of Elijah Moore today. And at tight end, we talked about Goddard. I think he's going to keep getting better. Higbee is a really sneaky start today. And Dan Arnold coming off the bye. He's been getting better and better with Lawrence. I think that continues.
All right, cool. It's a lot of players there. I hope you're wrong about Chris Carson from earlier, but since I have him in the corrupted league, but I'm starting to accept reality there. But cool. I'm going to look at some of those props you mentioned, Ray, and I would love to see your betting slip for this Miami Buffalo game. Just every angle, cross parlays, like the whole thing. I would love to see it. Anyway, gentlemen, any final thoughts, final comments on the week? King, we know about the book. I haven't got a hard copy yet, but I might get a couple for Christmas. Hopefully the supply chain crisis doesn't get in the way, although Amazon runs the world, so I'll probably be able to get a copy. But any final thoughts on your side?
Yeah, we have Paranormal slated for tonight, 7:00, Fort Adams. I don't know if I'm going to attend Fort Adams. See, I could do the football show because there's a toilet right there, and it's got all the amenities like toilet paper. It flushes. There's no flies. There's nobody waiting for me in some sort of like tunnel saying, hurry up. We got to go do the rest of the show. Come on, we're live. And I'm so I don't think I want to be known as the guy that came and just stunk up the Fort Adams. That like just made Fort. They'll be like, it was the worst bombing Fort Adams has ever had, and that's saying a lot. Kev, I'm afraid I will stink this place to high heaven, Kev. I cannot go. So I'm going to make all my arrangements. I will not go. I will be here giving out candy. I'm looking forward to it. Brand new house. Want to give out candy out Lorraine's door.
All right.
That's what I got.
All right. And if you make, well, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave the Fort Adams jokes aside. M1, final thoughts?
Only thing I got to say is Brother Ray left out is Daniel Jones. I love Daniel Jones today. If he's out there, pick him up. He's going to have a great day against KC's.
All right, cool.
I have to run, gentlemen. I love you. Have a great day. Win some money.
All right, talk to you later. All right, gentlemen, wrapping up Legit Fantasy Football for Halloween 2021. Catch us tonight, Legit Paranormal, as King said, 7 o'clock. Tomorrow is Legit Basketball. Going to kind of get everyone caught up on the first couple weeks of the season, what we think, who's looking good fantasy perspective, which teams are still on the rise. But that's it for me. I got all my bets in already. Things are a little bit more relaxed than they normally are. Got my sheet filled in, got my notes taken. Now all that's left is just to collect the money. We'll leave it at that. Have a good day. Enjoy football, and we will talk to you tonight and tomorrow.
Out.